Hello, in this video we're going to take a quick hardware size comparison look at the Sony Xperia SP against some other mobile phones that you might be considering or have used previously to get an idea of how the SP compares in size. So I'm going to start off with a much older device, the Blackberry Bold 9700, and as you can see there's quite a substantial size difference, but it's quite possible that you've used this for many years and you're now looking to go to Android and maybe something with a touch screen. So you can see in terms of width the SP is wider, but in thickness the SP is of course thinner. Weight wise, really not a lot in it, perhaps the SP just fractionally because of the extra screen size on there. Here's a more up-to-date device and another Sony device, the Sony Xperia S, a hugely popular phone, and in some respects the SP is an upgrade to that. We've got a similar design transition between the two with this clear bar, although the SP one illuminates. So in terms of actual size, there really isn't that much in it. The SP may be just fractionally wider and fractionally longer as well. There really isn't that much in it. You might just be able to pick it up there in that sort of shot. Just there's a fraction between the two. Thickness, there isn't an awful lot either. I'd go as far as to say as the SP is probably the thinner of the two. There you go on the back, so a little bit different in terms of their layout, but weight, not a lot in it either, to be quite honest with you. Samsung Galaxy Note 2 now might not be a direct competitor to the SP, but gives you an idea of the size. So you've got a 5.5 inch screen on here, so it's massively bigger from all sort of angles in terms of length and width. Thickness wise it's sort of comparable, maybe almost verging on slightly thinner because it's a longer, bigger device, but you can see how the things compare there. And weight, of course, the Note is naturally heavier as a result. Samsung Galaxy S3, certainly something you might be considering up against the Sony here. So you haven't got the curvature of the S3, but in terms of actual overall profiling size, there's not a lot in it. The S3 is actually just marginally longer, and in terms of width it's actually marginally wider as well. Thickness wise, not a great deal in it. Perhaps the S3 is just that fraction thinner. Weight wise, yep, very comparable. Perhaps the SP just a little bit heavier. Reason why I'm not really too sure, it just feels a little bit more top heavy than the Samsung, but similar size screens, so overall similar size. We've got the very popular iPhone up next. So this is the iPhone 4. You can see how that's considerably smaller. Thickness is about the same, the SP just marginally thicker. But there you go with the profiling sort of size. So if you were upgrading from this or want to compare, you can see that it's actually going to be a bit bigger in the hand and also longer as well. And there's the thickness between the two of them. The actual iPhone almost appears thicker because of the silver banding around it, whereas the Xperia's sort of got a little bit more sort of a curve to it to make it feel not quite so big. We've then got the Samsung Galaxy S2, a very popular phone indeed, and you can see still got a bit more curvature on the S2. Profile wise, very similar though. I would go as far as to say as they are basically identical in terms of width. There, length, there is just a fraction of extra length on the SP. There you can just see the camera poking out there. Let's do it like that as well so you can see it. And in terms of thickness, not a great deal in it. The Samsung Galaxy S2 probably just that little bit thinner. There we go. And lastly, the HTCOne. So this does have a marginally bigger form factor, little bit more curvature on the HTCOne as well. So you can see how that just pokes out that little bit there, extra length on the HTCOne. Thickness wise, The one probably just about does it there as well, a little bit thinner thanks to the aluminium framing, everything being cut out precisely on there. Weight wise, not a lot in it actually. Might actually go as far as say the Xperia is just a little bit heavier without going on the spec sheets, just actual the feel in the hand. So that's a quick hardware size comparison of the Sony Xperia SP against some other mobile devices.